So you say thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us today
No problem.
on the subject of fatherhood. I suspect with 3, you might know a little bit about it, right?
Just a little bit so far.
Just a tad.
Bit,
Just a tad. Take us back to your childhood and your relationship with your own father, Wellesley Bolt, Sir Bolt.
Well, I think we mostly bonded over sports. My dad was a massive cricket fan, so if you follow my career, you know that I was into cricket at the start because of him. I grew up seeing him, always loving cricket, supporting West Indies, and also my father was a disciplinarian in the family. You understand? So at times we didn't always get along, but I understood growing up that it was necessary.
It was necessary for him to be a disciplinarian,
Yes.
or was necessary for you to listen?
Both, you know. Both, you understand? We grew up, and I think that's why I'm so respectful, and people always come up to me and say, you're such a nice person, and you're so respectful, and you're always smiling, or you always take time out to give us pictures or even just have a conversation, and that's just the way I was brought up, you understand? So that's something I have to always give thanks, and I tell people why I wouldn't change anything about my childhood because it made me who I am today.
So when, exactly, your childhood made you who you are today, the fact that you're respectful of individuals and that humility, and we've all said that about you, the approachability. But when did you realize that your father was a good man? As it were?
For me, from the start, when I think is when you actually get to being a teenager, you start to understand more what, as a kid, your parents were always saying, listen, you need to listen, you need to do this instead of doing that. Because as a youngster at the time, you feel like they're just telling you not to do it because they don't want to do it, but you want to do it. So for me, I think it was when I got to high school, I started understanding more that what my parents were saying was right, and they always wanted me to go in the right direction.
So do you still go to your father for advice? Does he still give you advice to this day, or tries to at least?
I think he tries to give me advice in different ways, with different things. That I think the generation now has changed dramatically from my father's day, because we're in the social media era, so it's totally different now.
Yeah.
So for me, my mother and my dad is retired. I think my mom is more into the social media era than anything else. She's on Facebook and actually on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I know she's into that, and she follows me and makes sure she follows up on my day-to-day thing. But my dad is the type of person who's just chill and just to relax and talk to his friends. He's not really that type of person.
And what does he think about cricket and the West Indies now? And then what do you think about it?
For me, my father is a diehard West Indies fan. No matter how bad they play, we always watch. Yeah, we always watch every game. No matter what they've been through, lose, being embarrassed, he watches every minute of every game. So he's a true fan. I'm definitely must say.
Okay, good. You've made no secret of the fact that you wanted to be a father. So take us back to the first time you were informed by Casey. Guess what? You said you're going to be a dad. Walk us through that day when you found out that Casey was pregnant.
I was supposed to actually see her. I was supposed to go by her apartment. And I wasn't supposed to go by her apartment. She called me and said, I have something for you, so you should come by. And I was like, all right. So I went by, and she actually gave me a box, a few different things. I can't remember
exactly
what, but it was, she used a cartoon that I watched, Naruto. I have to ask her this. Never knew this would be one of the questions. But she used a cartoon that I watched, Naruto, to actually break it down and to explain to me. I was like, I'm slightly confused. You understand? I kind of understand, but I don't understand. Then she kind of came out and showed me the test that she took and stuff. Yeah, and I was excited because I was ready at the time. So I was excited about having my daughter, which I didn't know at the time, but I was excited about it. It was wonderful.
You say that you were ready.
Right.
What does that mean? Do you want to elaborate on that a bit more? Because you seldom hear people announce that, well, I was ready.
A lot of
Us women usually say that,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, because growing up as a man in Jamaica, if you are around a lot of guys, which I am, I play football and I'm around the guys, and
You
the
mean NJ was
modest.
teasing you and telling you
No,
that
not
time
really,
come?
not really NJ. NJ is not
Okay.
that type of person.
Okay.
I'm talking about like Bibi, Briscoe, you understand, all the football guys that I play, them all this, so Inferno, you, them, the gelding thing, or them all this. There's stuff like that, so they were always pressure, but I knew that I wasn't ready, you understand, because I knew that I travel so much.
Yes.
I will always have to be at training. I'm always doing so much. I was going to be tired. So for me, it was never a rush. And then it was to find the right girl that I knew that, listen, this was going to be it. Because my dad has three different kids with three different women. I promised myself that I would never be one of those persons, because I see the disadvantage of not having my brother and my sister with me all the time. So we didn't grow as a
Together,
tight
as a unit.
knit group. So for me, that was something that I promised myself at a young age, that I would try my best not to go down that road. So I took my time to find the right girl to make sure that when this happened, I knew that it was going to go long term. So that's why I said I knew I was ready when it happened.
And then, okay, so you had your daughter. Were there plans to go back?
Yes, it was definitely
Okay,
it was
yes.
definitely plans to go back. You understand? Not when it happened, but
Yes.
there was plan to definitely
Right.
go back. I
And did
wanted.
you decide that you wanted 3?
Yes, I wanted 3. Casey wanted 2.
Yeah.
So that was the initial plan of how it was gonna go down. She wanted 2 pregnancies. So listen, I really don't want to be pregnant more than 2 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, hopefully we get about the second time we try. So,
Yeah.
because as men we always like to
Of
have boys.
course.
So
And I mean, you are Usain Bolt, for heaven's sake. So, the legacy,
the
I know
legacy,
you obviously
exactly,
need a
exactly.
son. The naming of your 3 children, right? Olympia, Lightning Bolt. Let's start there with your firstborn, your daughter. And of course, I notice you've registered all the names, so nobody can steal them.
Well, at the start, we decided before we even started that if we had a girl, Casey would name her, and if there was a boy, then I would get to name him. So
Oh, that was the plan.
I threw out names, but she ignored them. You understand? But
Do you want
I
to
put
give us
it
an
out
idea
there.
of some of those names?
No, I had a
We're
great
happy.
idea.
We love the name, but
I had a great idea.
yes.
And I explained this to her. I was like, listen, I would love to have 2 boys, 1 girl. So when we found out it was a girl initially, I told her, listen, name her Rain.
Rain.
Yeah, you understand? Because what I wanted to do was to create, I wouldn't say, I see somebody put up and said the Storm Squad, which makes more sense now.
Yes.
But I wanted Rain, and then I would name one of the boys Thunder, then Lightning. And then I
Okay,
would
gotcha.
mix all 3 of them named together and just like Lightning Rainbow and Rain Lightning Bolts, just to make it cool and make it different. But she decided that she wanted to name her Olympia, so we made a deal so I couldn't really go against her. You understand? So that's how Olympia
And
came
is
about.
Olympia an Olympia? I mean, when the name works for
Yeah.
you now, and
Yes,
definitely for her.
definitely, yeah. It's a very symbolic name, so for me, it's definitely,
Certainly.
yeah.
Certainly. Okay, and the naming of Thunderbolt.
So
So you didn't get the
I, wa-
rain, did you?
I wanted a junior. I really wanted a junior, and when we found out we were having twin boys, I thought about it a lot, and I was like, you know what? I can't really name one of the sons Usain Bolt Jr. and the
No.
next one something else. So I say, you know what? Take the Usain off, and that's how I got St. Leo Bolt. And then I was like, now I need a proper name that really stands out. And turned down, I was searching for a middle name. I was like, you know what? It's not giving
Thunderbolt.
my middle name. Just Thunderbolt is a powerful statement. So
Absolutely.
that's how
So
I really came
Olympia
up with that.
Lightning Bolt, Thunderbolt, and Saint Lear Bolt.
Yes,
Your middle name.
yes.
So when you heard that, when you found out, I mean, okay, we understand with your daughter. So what was your reaction like when you discovered twins? I mean, Casey wanted one of each.
Yeah.
You wanted two sons.
Yeah. So that's that story. So Casey, at the start of Olympia's pregnancy, the only side effect she really had was itching. She always itched for some reason, and after a while, after 3 months after, maybe say 2 months after she had Olympia, she stopped itching.
Okay.
And then randomly one night, she started itching again. And I remember calling the doctor at the time we were in the pandemic, so
Yes.
I called the doctor and he was like, because the pharmacies were closed, so we couldn't get DPH, which she always took. So I
Right,
called
yes, yeah.
the doctor and he said, yeah man, you can come by and I'll I'll give you some for the itching. So I went by and he said to me, just saying, remember the last time Casey started itching was when she was pregnant. I was like, Doc, how can she get pregnant? Because she's breastfeeding now. So that's not possible. And he says, where did you get that?
Where
And
did
I
you
was
get
like,
that?
that's how it goes. And he goes, no. When they're pregnant, when they're breastfeeding, they're more likely to get pregnant. And I was like, that's something I feel like you should have informed me of. But so she went, so the next day I told her, when I went back home, I told her, I was like, yo, the doctor said. So she's like, all right, just to be precaution, let's just take a test. And I came home the next day and she left the 2 pregnancy tests on the bed. And I was stressed for a while. I must say, I was stressed for a while because we had just had Olympia. She wasn't even 1 yet.
Exactly.
So that kind of was like, oh my God, there's no way you can be pregnant already. So that was the case. And then she went to the doctor now to get a full checkup and stuff. And I can't forget, I was driving on the road. I was heading back to the house. And she called me FaceTime and she said to me, said, doctor wants to speak to you. And he said, are you driving? I said, yes. And he says, I think you should pull over. And I was like, what? And I was worried now because I'm not like, what happened?
Yeah.
He said, don't worry about it, just pull over. And then he said, yeah, and showed me. I was like, jeez. And for days I was stressed because we understand the stress we deal with Olympia was just having 2 more kids. So it was
more stress than lining up for the 100 meters final. You saying, come
of
on,
course,
come on,
kids.
come on.
3 kids. It was stressful for a while, but I got over it and understood that it's just a blessing. So.
And we saw, and you were with her for all 3 deliveries.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Did you read up on that? Because having not read up on the possibility of getting pregnant during breastfeeding.
No, my dad actually, I remember my dad told me, listen to me, no matter what they say, do not look. That's what my dad said.
That was Willis's advice to you.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yes.
But she actually didn't get the push. She actually had C-section because I remember it was a Sunday. She was due on a Tuesday for Olympia.
This is for Olympia, right?
Yeah. And then on the Sunday, the doctor was calling me and said, listen, we need to take the baby today. And I was like, why? It's random. And he says, 2 babies just came up. And 2 mothers lost their baby. And they're about to be born. So I think you should come. We don't know if it's the virus. At that time, we were really into corona.
Yes.
And he says, I don't know if it's the corona or what's the case, but to be safe, let's take the baby. So I just stayed at the other end, squat down at the other end. I didn't want to see anything at that side. So I was in the room. It was interesting and to hear the sound, but it's one of those things.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Now, did you get involved in the diaper changing?
At the start.
Speak the truth.
At the start,
yes.
At the start. I think the moment it started in solid food, I kind of stepped back because the smells got kind of higher at that time. But I still change, like pee diapers. I'm okay with that. I have it covered. But number 2s, I kind of just stay away from that as much as possible.
So your advice to new dad is number 2, stay far.
At the start, you'll be fine. With just milk, you're fine. But when solid food start being introduced, it's different smells. kind of different.
You get involved in bottle feeding, though.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Yes.
I pitch in everything. I try to be there and help
So
as
you
much as
are a
I possibly.
hands-on
Yeah,
dad.
help as much as I possibly can. You understand? Because I have learned and say that you really have to be there as a father to make sure you help to grow your kids in the ways that you see fit. You understand? You can. Although I might have helpers that people
Of
help us
course.
out, I still make sure that I stay on top of things as a dad. Because my dad was hands-on, I would say. He worked a lot, but he tries to be there and try to make sure I was on the right path. So I've learned that from him. So I want to just be that father also.
Lovely. So you get involved in the bottle feeding, the outfit change,
Yeah.
and what about that the first burp on your shirt?
I got a lot of that with Olympia. I think my boys love me, so they don't really do that to me. But
But
Olympia,
Olympia's daddy's girl. You know
that
Olympia
I don't know
is.
why. That's what I thought, but she threw up the most on me. A lot. I feel like sometimes our mom would have her. As soon as I take her, she throws up on me. So, but it's a part of the thing, and it's one of those things. So yeah,
Has fatherhood changed you? You saying?
I think it has made me more patient. I
Really?
think
So were
yes,
you so you were impatient?
yes. People always ask me if I would coach, and I would tell them that no, I don't have the patience to deal with adults telling them one thing 10 times. And that's the
Interesting.
hardest thing. So now that I have kids, I have to understand that. I have to be patient with them for them to understand and to learn and to grow. You understand? And try to teach them. You have to tell them one thing 15 times. So it has
And
taught
even
me a lot,
so,
especially in
fatherhood
that
has
area.
taught you patience.
Yes, a lot of patience. Yeah.
So would you now coach since it
I
has taught
no,
you
I think yeah,
patience?
I think it will have. The older they get, I think I will think about coaching. And so I've actually thought about it for once in my life. Because at this national start, I would just say no immediately. So
What what is a regular day like with you and your three lovely children?
I,
Take us through. I mean, you wake up. Is there music playing? How do you introduce them to the world?
for me, well, they wake up at 7. I don't. So
They wake up at
yeah,
7.
like the helper.
That's good. So
Well,
they sleep throughout the night. I was waiting for you to
no,
say.
my daughter,
Yes.
she's doing better now. She
You're right.
actually sleep, but the boys they still have a night nurse which takes care of them.
Right.
But Olympia, we look after her at night. So at times she will sleep through the night. Like this morning, she did not. She slept until 5. And then she woke up and decided that we could not go back to sleep. So
Exactly.
we were up from 5. So it all depends. It all depends. So
So
today,
Olympia controls.
yeah. So today, so for a day like today, now wake up at 5,
Right.
up for a while, then the nanny comes and pass her off. I go back to sleep for a couple of hours. I wake up, I go see the boys and I hang out with them for a while.
And what do you do with them?
Just chill right now. They walking around, so I'm grabbing everything. So I just really just chill with them, talk to them, try to back and forth, teach them little things, and try to let them not rip the house apart. You understand? So spend time, then they go off to sleep for 2 to 3 hours, depends on the day. And wake up, have lunch, might just chill out with them again. And I came here, so that's it. And now, probably when I get back home, they'll probably be on a walk or something to tire them out so they
Right.
can actually
Yes.
sleep at night. But Olympia goes to bed later, so she chills with us and either watch TV or we find some activity to do with her. So
What's your favorite
it all
thing to
depends.
do with the boys?
Right now, it's
Yes.
just to chill and to watch him because Thunder walked early and Saint is now because he had a bad fall one time and from then he kind of
Yes.
scared
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
walking. So he's starting
Slowly
to
getting
understand.
back
Now
into
I'm
it.
trying
Right.
to
Nice.
give him that confidence
Yeah.
to walk and not to crawl around. So
Right.
that's something I do with them a lot
So
right now.
again, the patience. The
Yeah,
patience you're saying. Oh my
you
God, the
have to have
patience.
patience.
Yes.
Exactly.
So do you what's your favorite nursery rhyme or book to read to them,
I,
or do you sing to them? I mean, big time singer
No,
now.
I think Casey's a singer. You understand? For
Yeah, I saw
me,
her singing
yeah,
yesterday.
Casey will sing, tell man sing every
Song.
TV rhyme, every nursery
Yes.
rhyme.
Yeah.
She likes some stuff. At times I get caught up in it, but I tend to let her do that part, you understand?
Right.
Because it's gonna sound bad, but I think
Let's see how
the
bad it
more
sounds.
the more she sings to them, they kind of draw to her more. So it leaves more time for me. So I leave her to do all of that. But for me, it's just to hang out with them and to play. I'm the dad. I'm the person that chose them up and rolls them on the
Right,
ground, throws them
exactly.
on the bed. I'm that father, so I do that part.
What's
She,
as babies, what was their favorite food that you tasted and you actually
no,
enjoyed? No,
nope,
speak the truth.
I don't taste none. No, I stay away. Casey tried to get me to taste the breast milk, did not do it.
No, but what about the baby food?
No, I don't. I don't. The only thing that surprised me about my
Yeah.
kids is that they actually like vegetables.
So, but
Like they're
why would
not a
that surprise you?
sweet.
Not because you are just a chicken nuggets
Because,
person.
yeah, because most kids that I know don't like the vegetable, but Olympia loves her vegetable, and now the boys are really
Oh,
come to her, and
nice.
it's strange to me. And even when I give Olympia sweets, she's not a massive fan. Like even ice
Lovely.
cream,
Nice.
yeah, so it's kind of weird.
So does that mean that you are going to eat your vegetables now? You saying, "Come
No,
on"?
no,
Breaking news!
that's
Breaking news!
I'm past that stage.
So, what's their favorite vegetable?
Well, Olympia definitely likes broccoli, for sure,
Nice.
for some reason. And we don't, at the start, I was so confused because we didn't put salt on it.
Oh, good.
And it tastes, because you boil it and to make it soft, and it's awful.
That's because you don't like
No,
broccoli.
but it's
It's
like
lovely. You say it's
just
broccoli's
water
good.
and broccoli and it's boiled and soft. It wasn't nice.
How do you
But
know it
she
wasn't
loves
nice? She loves
broccoli,
it.
and the boys mostly into carrots and stuff like that. But and Olympia loves strawberries, like love strawberries. So yeah,
And you've
massive
travelled
fan.
with them, so what's that like?
I mean, it's good. It's all right. I think Olympia is okay to travel with. Thunder is a screamer, so he screams and he cries. I think he's the toughest one to travel with. And Saint is like Olympia is kind of chill and relaxed. He'll get miserable when he wants to sleep, but other than that, he's all right. He's all right.
This is your second Father's Day.
Yeah, coming up.
Take us back, yeah, coming up.
Yeah.
Take us back to the first one, and what are you looking forward to? I mean, is your your own father
Yeah.
involved in your Father's Day?
No, I tell them no that it's my turn. I said that to my
I
father
see.
last year. He was like, "What do you get to me?" I said, "Nothing. You've gotten up so many Father's Day. It's my turn now." You
No, but you still have
understand?
to remember
I
him, though.
still remember, I
Of
still tell
course.
him Happy Father's Day, but that's it. Normally he looks for a present or a card or something. I was like, no, it's your turn to buy me something for
I
my
see.
Father's Day. So
So did he?
no, it's definitely not gonna do that. But right now I'm just relaxed. I'm not stressed at the moment. I'm not like Father's Day. I feel like when the kids get bigger and start doing drawings and
Right.
stuff, then it will be much more
And
a bigger thing. You understand?
they can make your cards and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and stuff like that.
You know,
So
when
I'm
you
looking
look
forward to it.
as a father and you look around, whether it's here or overseas, what's your biggest wish for your children, you say?
Wow. Just to be successful, you understand? Just to grow up happy. Because I had a wonderful childhood. I would not complain about anything. Growing up, I loved running in the streets. And that's one thing I tell kids. We have to really send them back to the country to experience different life and lifestyles, just to see different things, not just travel with us and live in Kingston and just see this world but the other world, but just to enjoy their childhood and to grow up successful.
When you
Understand?
say successful, what's your definition of success?
Anything that makes them happy.
For heaven's sakes, look at you, looking at us and saying, okay, I just want my children to be successful.
I feel like anything that makes them happy. When you get to adulthood, if you decide that you want to work on 9 to 5 and do any form of work, that's fine. Or you want to try to be a track star or anything you want to be, anything that makes them happy, that for me is successful.
So if they,
Success.
you know, if St. Leo or Thunderbolt or Olympian looks at you and says, Dad, I want to be a runner like you.
I wouldn't want to coach them. I think I've seen how a lot of parents try to coach their kids. Some can handle it, and some might push them too far. So I'll oversee it, but I think I wouldn't want to be the coach of my kids.
Even
You
though
understand?
you'd be patient.
Yeah, but it's different when you get older. I think now that they're younger, you're patient and you teach them the right thing. But when they get to a level or get to being teenagers, you have to really push and be different and be tougher.
Yes, yes,
You
yeah.
understand? So for me, I definitely would want to be on the outside, and then I can guide them and say, yeah, continue doing this and help them with a few things, or might be such as a thing to their coach or so, but I don't feel like I have to do them day to day because I feel like that will put a lot of strain on the relationship as just a son or a daughter and father.
On the international sports arena, looking around, who do you like your children to play with? Whose children would you like your children to play with? I know they've got lots of
Wow,
friends here, the play dates, etc. But
I've never really thought about that, to tell you the truth. For me, that, I don't know, no idea. I've never really thought about that for me. I'm
and
just thinking about preschool right now, so.
yep, you anticipated my next question in terms of education for your children. How important is that for you? And what approach would you like to see their school take?
For me, education is definitely important, without a doubt. You understand? I will explain to my kids what it means because being educated is very important, but also being very rounded and street smart,
Very
I think,
important.
is also very important. So it's all about how you grow them and teach them. And I feel like when they get to decide if they want to go off to college or if they want to go in a different direction, then I'll definitely support them because, as I said, the world is different now. People
It's a
make
different
money
world.
in different ways. So we can't just be one-shot minded. So it's all about what they want when they get to the level where they have to make a life decision.
You spoke about balance and taking them out of Kingston and country, a bit of country living. What about country living? Do you think that they need to
It's just
adapt?
it's just a rough edge. You understand? I think in Kingston it's more sheltered and depends on where you send them to school, the friends that they have. It's going to be
Very
different.
kind of,
You
yeah.
understand? But you send into the country, kids are always outside.
But
No one is
but
really
I
inside
bet
in
you
the
anything
country.
your parents would be cuddling them,
Yeah,
ensure
yes.
that they don't fall over,
Not in my
that they don't run like you.
grandparents are total opposite of your parents
True.
when they get they spoil them. I've noticed
That's
that.
the point.
You
So,
understand? So I feel like they will allow them to just be themselves. And when they, as I said, when the country, everybody's outside, they're on the road doing
yes.
something, playing.
Yeah.
It's not inside
Inside.
because, as I said, internet is there, but it's not as great as Kingston. But people still want to just go outside because that's for some reason it's just how country is. That's how you grow up and seeing, and that's how the kids are from my neighborhood. Even when I go back now, I can see them in the streets riding bicycle, just hanging out, talking, playing football and stuff like that. So it's something that I want my kids to see and to grow up and to see a different side. Not
Absolutely.
just one thing, so they can learn and understand that they're different kids and people go through different things in life.
So, it's Father's Day, and we wake up in Jamaica. What's your advice to fathers? 3 things you say that you'd like to tell the fathers of Jamaica.
Wow. 3 things on the wake up on Father's Day. For me, it's
Yes.
just to enjoy the day, you understand? It's your day. Understand? To the real fathers out there, well done.
And what does real mean to
You
you?
know what I mean?
No,
For
you
me,
said,
the
tell
people
me,
who
what do you mean
really
real?
step up and look out for their kids and to make sure they try to provide and to make sure they guide them in the right way to be a better person. Because it's always trying to make a kid a better version of you. Understand? Me and Angie were growing up and our focus to give our kids what we never had, you understand, growing up, to not go through the struggles that we went through.
Is that a good thing, though, you're saying? Because it's kind of contradictory. Because, okay, you don't want them too cuddled
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Kingston. You
but
want
this
them
is
to go
why,
to the
yeah.
country and run. Now you're telling us that,
This,
NJ and I, we don't want the struggle.
this is why we're sending them back to the country to see different things. And then, if they're in Kingston all the time, and most likely we send them to Hillel or a certain school, they're going to be around a certain set of people.
True.
So when the summer comes now, we send them to the country, they're going to be around a different set of people. But that doesn't mean we're not going to give them what they want. You understand? We make sure that we're not struggling about lunch money. They don't have to walk to school. You understand? But stuff like that, when I say we want to change their life. You understand? If they decide that they want to be a doctor, they can do it. They have to worry about money, or they decide to listen, I want to go to school in America, or England, Europe, Australia, we can do that. That's what I say when I say I want to give my kids what we never grew up and have.
There's a school of thought that says it's wrong, that we tend to overcompensate. What's your take on that? In other words, they want to be a doctor, let them go and work and save up and become a doctor.
I'm not going to be. I believe you should teach them how to save, but I'm not going to tell them to save to be a doctor. Because I understood that at a young age, because watching my father work hard, that's why I work so hard in track and field, because I could see it. He said it, but he also showed me that you have to work hard for what you want.
He led by example.
Exactly.
So you will lead by example.
Definitely. I'm not just going to say something and then do the opposite. I want my kids to look at me and see something that I preach about. If I say work hard, I can say, hey, here's my documentary.
That's right.
This is what I was here to do. This is why I was great. This is why you have this house. I have this car. I go to this school, so I can show them and explain to them why. So these are the things.
So your last words to fathers: lead by example.
Lead by. Can't say it any better.
What's your favourite thing? What would you like to eat on Father's Day?
For me, nothing special.
What's your favourite food these days?
For me, it's Father's Day and it's big, but for me, it's just another day. Because if NJ says we're working, we're working. so it all depends. I might wake up on Father's Day and I might be in some other part of the world.
That's right.
Doing work and making sure I provide for the family.
Happy Father's Day when it comes, you say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem.